Hello and welcome. You're watching the Tov Jewish News channel. With me today is Gadi Hitman, a senior lecturer at the Ariel University and an expert on the Middle East. Gadi, hello. So, Gadi, I want to ask you, as a person that really understands the issue, that understands the behavior and the mentality of our Arab neighbors, does Israel really act in the Gaza Strip as an actor who is interested to win? And if not, what should Israel do in order to look like a powerful actor in the Middle Eastern arena that really wants to win over in the Gaza Strip?
The question of winning in Gaza is not necessarily depend on the Arab neighbors. It depends on the Israeli government, and it can be divided to two different issues. One is, does Israel really want to win in the war? And the question for that is probably the question is probably yes. And the second question is Israel is capable of winning the war? And this is a totally different question. The third question is, when we are talking about winning or victory, the question is, what is exactly do we mean by saying victory? I would say that Israel does want to win the war. This kind of war is completely different from what Israel had seen in the past in other arenas, such as Lebanon or Egypt or Jordan. It may take a long time to fight against a sort of fighting such as the Viet Cong in Vietnam back in the 60s between the Vietnamese and the United States. And it also, of course, depends how much time we have from the international community, heading by the United States, to continue the fighting within the deepen the campaign, the military campaign in the Gaza Strip. After saying that, the definition of war, of winning or victory, is very, very complicated. However, it's quite clear to me. Speaking about military victory means that uh, the Gaza Strip should be evacuated from any sort of weapon that threatened the southern part of Israel. The civil victory means that all the settlements, all the localities within Israel, across the borderline between Israel and Gaza Strip, should be reestablished, rehabilitated again. If you ask me, and you ask me, if it's possible, the next Independence Day ceremony of May 2024 should be in one of the localities in within Israel, such as Be'eri or Kfar Aza or Nachal Oz or whatever. And lastly, the third victory that we are talking about is the information or the military or the campaign for trying to persuade the international community that Israel is the justice right or the justice part of this campaign. It's very difficult.
Gadi, Israel is facing now in Gaza an Islamist insurgency in like Hamas, right? And Islamists have their own very specific mentality. So they claim that they're not afraid of dying, that they're ready to be martyred, and their only wish is to go to the next life, to the next world, to meet with Allah. To meet with Allah. Are there any successful examples of fighting Islamist insurgencies in the world, Islamist rebels? And if yes, what made them successful? How do you break the Islamist morale?
How would you define success? The experience of Israel with Hamas in Gaza is very simple. Hamas took the Palestinian Legislative Council elections back in 2006 by winning in the elections, and 18 months later they took by force the control all over the Gaza Strip. Now, if you listen carefully to Yahya Sinwar stance, as we all know from the media, he is wishing to end the military campaign or ending the war because he wants to survive physically and politically. Listening very carefully to senior army officials within Israel who are fighting now at Gaza Strip, you can realize, or you can distinguish that none of them is really able to put the finger on any signs of crashing within Hamas military and political leadership. In order to do so, you have to kill them, or you have to give them the feeling or the sense that you are very close to them and their life is on the verge. If you don't do it, after killing more than 20,000 Gazans since October the 7th, in retaliation to what they did to us back in Simchat Torah, they don't really care about them. As Musa Abu Marzouk said many months ago, we are not taking care of the Gazans. All we care is for liberating or the liberation of Palestine. So if you want to make any pressure on them, you need to give him the feeling that you're very close to them. In order to do it, you need a very good intelligence. And the question whether we are getting closer to them or getting far from them is not to me, it's to the intelligence. And they probably won't tell you the answer.
So, Gadi, we now know that Israel is planning to, after the war, to divide the Gaza Strip into small areas which will be ruled by little clan chiefs, right? And also, there are talks about some kind of Nuremberg process, some kind of judicial process again for crimes against humanity, against the senior Hamas leaders and all the terrorists that have done all the horrible 7th of October atrocities. Is that something that can help prevent future attacks against Israel? Is that something that can deter terrorists in the future?
You actually ask two different questions. I'll start with the second one because it's much easier to say. Putting them on trial in Israel is not necessarily make them being deterred by Israel. I'm not going into the judicial discussion whether we do have enough evidence to put them on trial, but it's not my expertise. But even if we do have those evidence, putting them on trial and sending them for 20, 25, 30 or more than that years of prison for imprisonment in Israel is not really deterring people who are truly believe that they were here, they were born to free Palestine. Regarding to your first question of trying to uh, dismantle the Gaza Strip into small areas heading by head of clans or leading families, uh, time will tell if Israel is really uh, have the power, the political power to do it. I still have some doubts about it because it's very vogue as we speak today, January 2nd, 2024. But if we do succeed in managing the civil affairs of the Palestinians within the Gaza Strip uh, with those head of families or clans, uh, ignoring or removing Hamas from power, it may be for the benefit of Israel, but it will take time. Just to mention you and the viewers who are watching us, that we have more than 1.5 million Palestinians who fled their homes within the Gaza Strip, and they have no really back homes to go back to, because according to the data that were published a few days ago, nearly 70% of the housing in Gaza were destroyed by the Israeli forces. So even if the war stops today, they have no place to go back home, and the rehabilitation process of the Gaza Strip will take between 7 to 10 years. Who will run this rehabilitation process? Head of clans, head of tribes, head of families? Where do they get the money from? Who will be the political power to support them? Israel, the Palestinian Authority, Hamas, somebody else, Qatar? Bahrain, United Arab Emirates, maybe the Saudis, who has the money to pay such a huge amounts to rehabilitate Gaza. So from now, if we are looking to a long run, at least 5, 7, 9, 10 years, we will be able to say that we really changed the reality within the Gaza Strip, and we really achieved victory because we start this interview with victory. We really achieved victory by creating a new and quiet reality on the border between Gaza and Israel. If it's possible, I'm not a prophet, but we have to try. Because if we don't try, we'll never know if we are getting any chance to be close to a victory. Okay?
So let's wish that it's really what's going to happen, that we have peace on our southern border. Mr. Gadi Hitman, it has been an honor to welcome you to our studio. Thank you to our viewers for watching this interview. You were watching the Tov Jewish News channel. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye bye.